Welcome in to Devil Dog Prepper's live stream. Hope everybody's doing good. As you can see, I have my good friend Vision Preparedness on my panel tonight. We're going to talk about a thing or two, as he says. And I'll let some people get in here. Dan,
yes, indeed.
Thanks for the 5x5. Welcome in. Coffee first, then speak. Half-ass ready. Semper Fi, brother.
Ready.
Scott, Semper Fi, brother. Dan, Semper Fi. Hey, look, I got a lot of Marines in here. Lisa Harris, good to see you. Damn, something's bothering my dog. Oh, there's a dog outside.
There you go.
So how you doing, Vision?
I'm good, man. Busy as all heck, but I'm good. And it's Monday, and we survived, and here we be.
I was thinking about this earlier. During the winter, things kind of slow down, obviously. And you think, man, I wish I had more things to do, or I wish I had, I could go out and do this, and now it's time to get this stuff done, and there's never enough time. You had all the time all winter long to do everything, and now that it's getting nice out, there's not enough time to do everything.
Exactly. And,
and I'm sure you're the same way. There's not enough time or enough help.
Both. Exactly.
So.
And, I literally could spend 12 hours outside from sun up to sundown.
Yep.
And there would still be stuff left to do.
Welcome in, World 2IC. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Rule.
Ohio Valley Prepping. Welcome in. So, yeah. Ever since I started doing all the stuff out in the garage with the garden and the woodworking and stuff like that, I kind of, I'm the cook here in the house, obviously, and I've been slacking on cooking. And normally I like to get a notebook down, or we don't have it no more now that I painted before my brain surgery. I painted all the upstairs and everything, but.
Right.
We had a menu board, and I like getting a menu out for the whole week. Then that way I know what I need to go pull out of the freezer as far as beef or chicken or pork, whatever, So kind of got away from that, and we just go fly by night,
Yep. I had one of those, a chalkboard.
Yep.
That was a stand, and it said menu, and I'd write on there. I had that in my other house, and when I bought this, it's sitting in the barn.
So I'm gonna get back to writing into my notebook, and that's gonna help because there's so much to do, and if I don't write it down and I don't see it, it doesn't get done, or I lack on other things, and so I need to start doing that. That way I can make sure I'm getting the things done. And obviously one of the things I need to get done, like you and I were talking about it, is getting ready for Bug Out Weekend 2025.
Dude. I was just thinking, I said, okay, I got to start dragging out all of this stuff and putting it in totes. And yeah. That's going to take me 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dale Robertson, good to see you. How are you? Hope you're doing well.
But Ricky says she has a binder with weekly menus, recipes, and shopping lists for the week. That's awesome. Nice. So I got a notepad, and I can print, or I can write the menu down, and then it's actually got a perforated side copy of it, where I can write down my shopping list and then whatever, if I need to get stuff from the store, and then I can rip it off and I can take it with me to the store, and that helps out as well. So,
yeah. I'm with you.
Who else we got coming in? 125. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Hunter. Yeah, I
No, Dan, you don't change my name from big time to slacker.
yeah, I kind of went into semi-retirement with cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. So I took the stainless steel spatula and handed it to the COO and said, I'm done.
Hey, she's a good cook too. Well, you are
Yes,
too. You are
yes,
too.
yes. But
Dale Roberts, I take it it's your birthday. He's having some whiskey drinks tonight. Cheers. All right.
happy birthday. Skull.
Happy birthday. DB Cooper, welcome in.
DB.
Wisconsin Farm Boy, welcome in.
Good to see y'all tonight. Do me a favor, y'all. If y'all haven't, smash that like button, y'all. Share this out because this is going to be an amazing topic we're going to talk about tonight.
So before we get into that, I got a couple other things that I wanted to talk about.
Yep.
When I was scrolling through the daily news on the internet,
Mm-hmm.
I find this. I chuckled. The caption is ultra processed foods may link to early death.
You think?
And so I read this article and I'm thinking, all right, well, no kidding. And at the bottom of it says some experts say it's not known why UPFs are linked to poor health. There's little evidence it's down to the processing itself and could be because their foods contain high levels of fat, salt, and sugar. Well, I don't think it's the fats, the salt, and the sugar that's doing it. I think it's the red dyes and the blue dyes and all the other stuff that preserves the food so it can sit in the grocery store for 2 or 3 weeks before it goes bad. That's what's killing the people, you know.
Correct. It's the ultra high processed foods, plain and simple. Plain and simple.
Yeah. So that was a little chuckle moment for me when I read that. So, but the other one was the Canadian people are at the ballot boxes today voting for their new prime minister. So we'll see. I talked to my Canadian friend that I talk to on a regular basis, and he said that the conservative was in the lead for as far as they thought he was going to win. And then, so I asked him today how things were going, and he's like, all this tariff stuff between the United States and Canada has, he said, pushed a lot of people the opposite side, to the liberal side. And I'm like, well, I try to keep an open mind on this. It was the liberal side in Canada that caused all the issues for the United States to have to put these tariffs on it.
Yep, that's true.
So we'll have to see. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just know that if and so many other channels have said the same thing. Big channels, little channels, medium channels, whatever. If you are lacking something in your prepping list, you need to get it now.
Yep.
Oil for your car, which filters for your oil changes, brake pads, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Anything that you may need that you think you're going to need within the next year to help keep your vehicles going. Another thing is lumber. Lumber is going to skyrocket. I already know it. So I've seen a little bit. Prices going up a little bit, especially doing the woodworking. I keep an eye on that. So
yeah.
But just having some spare 2x4s and maybe a sheet or two of plywood behind, in the garage in case something happens, who knows? So if in fact we don't need Canadian lumber, then they need to figure it out. So I mean that's what they say. We don't need your lumber. Okay, well then why do all the big box stores carry Canadian lumber?
Right.
So
Yep. Yes, indeed.
but yeah, so anybody else coming in here? PJ, welcome in. Cha-Cha, I've seen her. Hello, good evening. Welcome in.
Right.
Yes, absolutely, Dale. Backups for your backups. That's a normal saying for the preparedness community. So,
Mhm. Yeah.
but we'll get on to the main topic for tonight, and one of the reasons why you should be preparing for whatever was the power outage today in Europe between Spain and France and Portugal.
Yep.
A lot of people lost power
Yep.
and are still out of power.
Tens of millions.
Let me see if I can pull up an hour ago here. Yeah, they're still out.
Yes.
But I looked up the average household consumes approximately. Well, this is what the internet said, and I think it's a little higher than that, but it says the average household consumes 10,791 kilowatt hours of electricity annually, which roughly is 899 kilowatt hours a month.
Yeah, mine's higher than that.
I looked at my bill while I was reading this because this is going into the subject tonight, and I average, and it says on my electric bill that I average about 1,050 kilowatts a month. So
yeah, I'm around that also.
But as far as the reason why I have you on here tonight, Vision, is because of how you are always talking about solar generators and solar panels and stuff, and we were talking about just before the live stream started. You know, what are people going to do if our grid goes down, and how are they going to get power?
Well, like I've been saying for the last couple of years, you got to, folks, you got to have backups to your backups for power. If the grid goes down here, what are you going to do? And I don't care what source you use. I don't care if it's gas generator, propane, dual fuel, solar, whatever. Have a plan in place. But keep in mind, if you're going to use gas generators, propane generators, whatever, you got to also store the fuel. And how much fuel are you going to store for a long-term power outage? Do you have enough gas for your generator to run? Let's keep it simple. 2 weeks. It may not be that it's running continuously for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But out here where I live, you fire up a gas generator and it's heard miles away from here.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
So now you got to think about OPSEC. And the same for mine. I have a whole house generator. If I turn that thing on, you can hear it for miles.
And you can baffle that a little bit, but you're not going to make it quiet.
Correct. You can build a box and soundproof the inside of it and slide it over top of it. But that's why I have backups that are solar generators.
Yep.
Plain and simple. And
yeah.
Go ahead.
125 asked what caused the power outage. So I looked that up, and they basically said it was an oscillating event. which
Yeah.
means a swing in the power. So, being that I worked at a power plant for almost 19 years, whatever, the turbine turns at a certain amount of RPMs, and if there's a surge and it goes too high or goes too low, it could trip everything off, you know. So that's what they're saying, and then it says resulting a repeating cycle variation in voltage and current in the electrical circuit. So, but who knows, you know.
And then again, you know, it could it have been a cyber attack? It could have been. Don't
Could have
know.
been.
We'll never know. We'll never know that. But
Well, yeah, I
you know,
mean, you can have a gas generator. They have dual fuels. They have tri-fuels. You know, I
yeah,
know some people like your whole house one is connected to your propane tank. Well, that's
yep,
only going to last you as long as you have propane in that tank.
yep,
Some people have it hooked up to their natural gas. Again, if there's a national grid down situation, you're not going to have the natural gas because what you need power to control the pumps to push this stuff to your house.
yes,
So,
yeah. So, you know, solar. And again, you don't have to power everything in the house. That's why I always talk about make a list of your critical infrastructure. Okay. Just like a company does.
mhm.
Refrigerator, freezers, couple of lights, maybe a stove or whatever. If you have alternate means to cook, that's okay. But you got to figure out, first of all, what are you going to power in a so-called air quote long-term grid down,
Mhm.
and go from there. You know, that will determine the size of the solar generator you could get or may need. You may need a couple of them. I don't know. I've got a couple.
Well, the thing about it is that so with looking up information for this topic tonight, the United States imports a significant portion of their um, electrical transformers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So here's some numbers, okay? $6.1 billion worth of transformers are purchased through Mexico. That equivalents to 20% of all the transformers that we import come from Mexico. The next one is 3.86 billion or 15.6% come from China. 7.3% comes from Thailand and 5.6% comes from Vietnam. So, with that being said, if there was something to cause our grid to go down and it blows our transformers, we're not talking days, weeks, or months.
Right.
It could be years. Right now, with everybody having power, okay,
Yep.
looking more into this, there was a study done back in 2012 under the title Large Power Transformers and the U.S. Electric Grid. And this was done by the Department of Energy.
Mm-hmm.
And they just redid it this last June
Mm-hmm.
in 2024 to assess our risk in our grid. And this information I'm reading is coming directly from the U.S. Department of Energy's website.
Yeah. I read that report.
But they're saying on average in America,
Pup's gone wild.
yep, people are outside. My granddaughter's outside. Hold on a minute.
Yep. But yeah, folks, you got to figure it out. got to figure out your power situations.
But yeah, so looking at the information, on average, our transformers life expectancy is around 38 years. And 60% of our transformers are at that point right now.
Yep.
So going further into it, it's not like they could just get on Amazon and order a new one or call GE and get a new one made, you know. I take that back. The average age of installed large power transformers in the United States is approximately 38 to 40 years, with 70% of those being 25 years and older. So 70% of our transformers are over 25 years old. And so basically what happens is when a electric company makes power, it's at a high voltage, and they use these step-down transformers to break that electricity down to a smaller watt to be able to put it over the line and then transfer it to other substations, and then it breaks down to go to your house. So it's the aging transformers, you know, obviously is a huge increased risk for issues, you know, for failures.
Yeah, and you know, and I'll say this, allegedly, I used to work at one of the large electric companies here in Ohio, and I worked with a gentleman who he was retiring. He had been there 50 years. 50.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I got a chance to talk to him, and I said, tell me one thing about this industry. He looked me dead in the eyes. He said, son, I'm going to tell you this. If the power grid goes down, it's not coming back.
Yeah. I mean, just looking at the information, you know, that I looked up under these websites in the last 2 years. This is according to the Wood McKinsey consulting firm. They did a report. The lead times have increased over the last 2 years from, it used to be 50 weeks. It would take 50 weeks to get a transformer, LPT. In 2021 is now 120 weeks on average in 2024.
Yeah, we're talking years to get transformers.
And then the step-up transformers lead times are ranging anywhere from 80 to 210 weeks.
Yeah.
So
it is crazy.
This is huge. I mean, I hope that it certainly opened my eyes reading about the situation going on over in Europe.
Yeah.
You know, we all take it for granted. You know, when I was in Iraq and having to dig holes to use the restroom out in the middle of the desert during the initial invasion. I was there in 2003 during the initial invasion. And we were so far ahead of everybody else that when we stayed in a certain spot for 2 or 3 days, we had to dig holes. Obviously, you have to go to the bathroom, you know?
Yeah.
So you take for granted having a working toilet, you know?
Yeah.
And so when I got home, you know, obviously I don't take that stuff for granted, but looking at this and watching what's going on in Europe, every single one of us takes for granted going over on the wall and flipping that switch.
Flipping the switch. Yep.
And unless you're in this chat and you're 100% off grid and you don't rely on the power companies, kudos to you. But I'm sure 99.9% of the people in this chat and like everybody else, we rely on the power companies.
Yes.
Orion Preparedness says we were in Iraq at the same time. Okay. He was in Nazaria March. Yep.
Okay.
That is awesome. Well, yeah. So if something were to happen, a cyber attack, a military attack on our grid, whatever, United States is screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got folks who'll say, well, I'm gonna stick with gas and this and that and that. And unless you have a endless supply of gasoline,
Mm-hmm.
you're okay.
Yep.
But that's the good thing about solar. And that's, you got an endless supply to recharge.
Now here's a question for you though.
Yeah.
What happens if because of the stuff going on over in the Middle East with all those countries and Israel and Pakistan and all the Iran? What happens if one of them get an itchy finger on that trigger and they shoot off a nuclear weapon? Everybody's going to let them off because they're not going to let it happen.
Well,
now we're dealing with nuclear winter.
Yeah, well, that's if you survive it.
Yeah.
If you survive it, then that I would not be worried about the sun being out to recharge my solar generator.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Let's pray that nothing like that ever happens.
I pray it doesn't. Yeah.
I just don't understand why these people can't be normal like you and I and figure out how to work it out. And
well, never mind. I won't say what I wanted to say.
Yeah, this study that was done by the Department of Energy was mind blowing. On how long it would take to get it. Okay, and that's now.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? If something were, well, see, the thing about it is you need two main ingredients in making transformers is electrical steel and copper.
Okay.
So the electrical steel obviously builds most of it, and then the copper does all the windings and everything.
Yeah.
So there's already a huge markup from all these places that we get our copper from.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons why the lead times on getting these new transformers are expanding and getting longer because one, they're saying the tariffs, and two, they say work shortage, people not enough people working for these companies and everything else. And
yep, exactly. And that's the thing, we have, ask the people in Texas when their power grid went down. Folks were going crazy. Gas stations were closing because fuel's gone. So, is solar the end all to be all? No. But it's another tool in the toolbox.
Absolutely. I mean, I have a gas generator. I got a dual fuel generator that's big enough to power my whole house. And like you and I were talking about before the live, and what you had mentioned and what people need to do is it's fairly easy to get a notebook and figure out how much everything that you have running in your house, how much electricity it takes to run it, whether it's a light, whether it's your washer and dryer, whether it's your furnace, whether it's your air conditioning unit, your refrigerator, your freezers. You should have some kind of an idea. That way, if you have to, if grid were to go down and you have a opportunity like a solar generator or a gas or whatever, you can limit and how much power you actually need to survive on a day-to-day basis, because who knows how long it will be down? We don't know.
Right. And that's the thing, you know. And if you have multiple generators of whatever kind, you can rotate them.
Mm-hmm.
Rotate them. You know, that's my big thing. That's why I like solar. Do I have gas generators? I do, but they're loud.
Yep.
And the minute you fire one of them things up, your neighbors are going to be like, "Oh, he got power over there."
Well, even if they don't hear it, they're going to see that your lights are on at night. So here's there's so many avenues you could go down when it comes to preparedness with this stuff. You know, do you have blackout curtains for your rooms that you're going to have power in, whether it's a solar generator and you're just having lights on in one room? You got to block out that light so other people can't see it.
Yep. You got to put black trash bags up to the windows, tape them good. I mean, that's a whole nother thing. OPSEC. You got to lock that down and have a plan in place on what to do.
Yeah. Well, you know, you look at back in 2020 how the stores went nuts over toilet paper and stuff like that, and how people were losing their freaking minds at the store and panic buying and everything. They if a grid down situation happens, whether it's only for the East Coast or the West Coast or whatever, people are going to really freak out.
Yeah, they are,
because they're not prepared. You said before what was the percentage of people not having a solar generator?
Generator period. 73% of Americans do not have any type of generator whatsoever. 73%. That's crazy.
Yep.
And power outage, the last place on the planet I'd rather go is to the grocery store. That ain't gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
Yep.
So, folks, plan. Go through, run your plan. And I say it all the time. Go down in your basement, turn off the main breaker, even for 24 hours.
Yep.
And see how you can do it. See how you can, make it through the night.
Utilize the equipment,
Yeah.
Say hello to some more people. Cherokee Survival, good to see you. Robert Bates, hello.
Okay.
Eileen Rich Pickett,
thank you.
Welcome in. Blue Butterfly, hello, good to see you. Who else we got in here?
Grit and Grace, good to see you.
Grit and Grace, yes. Tucked by V. Figure 454, good to see you.
Yeah.
Paul J. Conroy said hours for that 1 hour charge time from the gas Jenny. Yeah, I mean, that's why, we say it over and over again, and get the stuff out like you said. Shut the main breaker off for 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, whatever. I made a list of some things that you're going to need in a power outage. So going through and looking at the news today, they were showing pictures of people with candles in their living rooms and flashlights at the stores and stuff like that because people were panicking. So they were running to the grocery stores and trying to buy stuff. Well, there's no power,
Yeah.
I don't know how it's been quite a few years ago, but we had a blackout. I'm going to guess maybe 15, 20 years ago. I don't know if you remember that or not.
I do.
So I remember we were at Cedar Point, the amusement park, and obviously all the rides got shut down because they lost power.
Mm-hmm.
And so we weren't prepared. I mean, for anything like that. We would rent a little cabin there by the park, and it was my brother and his wife and I, and so we ended up going to the grocery store, and they had a backup generator running, and but they had no idea on how to check people out.
Right,
You
because
know.
credit card machines weren't working.
Yep.
So it was
So
cash only.
and
There's
that's
a there's a question in the chat by CUCV Farmer.
let's see here. Question. I have a 10,000 startup, 8,000 watt continuous gas generator. Quarter of the year solar won't be reliable because of Lake Michigan. Should I buy a solar generator or buy a tri-powered generator? Well, to each your own. I mean, it all depends, I guess, on the finances of yourself or whoever. You're still gonna get sun throughout the year. I mean, you're just gonna have less of it. So,
Right.
um, as they say, backups to backups. So, I mean, if you have the solar generator and need more power, then obviously you're going to need a tri-powered or a dual powered or whatever. But you got to also think about it too, is how you're going to resupply the fuel to power those things. So,
Yep,
in a grid
exactly.
down situation, your best bet would be the solar and multiple ways of adding more panels. I mean, I don't know how that works. I'm just getting into solar panels, so I mean, there's only a maximum amount of power that you can use, or as far as your panels to charge that solar generator, correct?
Yeah, depending
So,
on the make and model. Opus is right around maximum, depending on the which particular one. Maximum input's only 2100 watts.
okay,
So, and that's why, I suggest, 200-watt solar panels and up. 100
hmm
watts are okay. They're fine. But, if you need maximum input, and the more solar panels you have connected parallel, the faster that generator is going to charge.
yep. Coffee says, not really concerned about light. We have tons of options for light. I'm only worried about coffee pot, fridge, freezer, in that
Right.
order.
And Coffee, if I'm not mistaken, you have a Mega One. Your Mega One will power all the above.
Yeah.
Just now. So and if I'm not mistaken, the Mega One's input is 2100 maximum watts, 2100 maximum watts at one time to power that thing, and it'll charge it in an hour. So you take a 200 watt solar panel on a good day, and if you parallel what, 5 of them will give you 1,000 watts.
Yeah.
So, or 10,000 watts, whatever it is. For y'all smart folks in the chat, figure it out. 2,100 watts maximum. How many solar panel? 240 watt solar panels do you need to reach the maximum of 2,100? And then you have to figure out, do I really need the maximum? See, if you have one solar generator, when it gets to, this is just me speaking, when it gets to 60%, I would be charging that thing up.
So you said 20. You said 2,100 input.
2,100 watt input.
So
Yep.
you would need 8 240
Yeah.
watt panels.
Yes. Yep.
To max that out.
Right. To max it out. So is it worth that, or is it I'm telling you, it would be cheaper to buy a second solar generator and then have a couple 240 watt solar panels, or as many as your budget will handle it. I'm with you, Happy Matt. Yeah, I can't math either. That's why I'm working on a solar array here that will give me 2,100 watts, and it's only going to take 4 solar panels. because I'm getting 600-watt solar panels.
There you go.
Yeah.
Welcome in, Sister Marie's Kitchen.
Good to see you, sister.
Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival is in the house.
Skull, my brother from another mother.
So I was telling VP before the live stream, I'm like, Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival comes on, and I had already heard about this news, and I was going to talk about it, and I'm like, oh, there he goes.
Yep. And him and I were texting early this morning about it.
Well, that's what we do. We try to
Yeah.
get it out as fast as we can, and
Yep.
Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival is just faster, I guess.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. But folks, honestly, first and foremost, stay within your budget.
Yes.
And get what works for you. What works for Devil Dog may not work for me. What works for me may not work for Devil Dog.
Yep. Welcome in, Bonnie.
I am a proponent of backups to the backups to the backups. And when it comes to solar or alternative power, I've got that.
Yep.
If the lights go out, the last thing I'm worried about is cooking.
Yeah, but you got to eat at some time, though.
Well, I mean, we'll be able to do that, but that's a no-brainer. I've got so many options for that. That's, worst case scenario. Okay, I go to the barn. I get the 17-inch Blackstone out and bring up one of the propane containers, and now we're cooking.
There you go.
Yeah, that I don't even have to think about.
So on my list of things that people need, in case of a blackout like they had in Europe, obviously you need flashlights. You need if you're this type of person, is to have candles. I got flashlights all over the house. I
do too.
I got oil lamps in every room. I got the power banks because I got the flashlights that I have can recharge them. So I have power banks just for the flashlights, and they're solar, so I can recharge those power banks with the sun.
Speaking of, please don't forget to remind me how much the lanterns are. How much I owe you for those lanterns?
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
Yep.
I just thought of that.
I got them right here next to me.
Of course you do. And on the other side is my freeze dryer that I'll never see.
No, that's upstairs, and it's last spot.
Last spot?
Yeah.
But has it been turned on?
It has not. It will be. It will be this week. So first I had to build a stand for it, and I moved it. And when you move it, you got to let it set for a while. And then I just got busy with other things, so I need to start doing it. But like Cha-Cha was reminding me that, malfunctions can happen, and sent a picture of the cord on it was melted, and whether they didn't have it plugged in all the way, or if it was an actual true malfunction, that'd be not good if you're not home and that thing catches a fire.
Yeah.
So,
there was a comment I wanted to read. Ray Ann said, I'm always prepared for a power outage. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And that's the whole power supplies you with everything that you're using on your water. Okay. Your well pump, if you're on your well, or if you are on city, they have to use electricity to power their pumps and stuff like that. So if there's a power outage, that stuff's down, So do you have a way of getting water from your well if there's a power outage?
Right. Yeah. Look at bad Bobber's comment.
5 each 250 watt and 3 each 200 watt solar panels, 61 44 watt solar gen, and a backup 61 40 watt solar generator, gas gen, and backup gas gen. There you
Yep.
go.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
JD, my plants are doing amazing. I'm ready to put my peas and beans and my lettuce and cabbage and cauliflower and broccoli. They're ready to go. So they've been hardened off and they're ready to be put in the dirt. And I'll probably be doing that in the next couple of days. Check the weather out. I think we're good. So
there you go. Fallen Skies, good to see you. Did you see his comment? Now that's interesting.
Which one?
He's under JD's, yeah.
But there was reports of EV not working on the highway. Wow. That's more than a swing in a power plant. So,
yeah.
Well, that plus I heard the phone systems weren't working.
Right. Cell phones weren't working. Nothing.
Yeah. So something's going on, you know.
Yeah. Phones, traffic lights, trains, water was cut off, access to water. Yeah, they had a whole bunch of stuff. Basically, anything that ran on electricity did not work.
Yep. If you're you're on city or county sewer, you better have a one-way drain valve so you don't get it and back it up in your house. Just saying, it will happen. Yep. Matter of fact, I was talking with the engineer of our group about that. Putting one in here because the last thing I want is my basement to flood with that bad stuff.
Yes. Did you see Mike's comment? He said that was somehow yeah, and then go down to his next one after that.
Magnetic pole shift, yeah. There's a lot of stuff out there that they're saying. So,
and you know, folks, as they say, in especially this year, watch what's going on over in Europe, and sooner or later it may make its way here. And I say may because I hope none of it does, but it's no secret we have a horrible power grid system. It's very fragile.
Ghost. Yeah.
So please, you know, backup power, water, especially if you're on city water, county water, sewage, all of that. If the grid goes down, it's going to be a ripple effect. No water, no gas, no electric. Plan for it. Prepare for it, folks.
What's up, D-Dog? Yeah, it's actually just a tad bit scary, you know. It makes you think, and it got my wheels turning when I found out about this, and you know, not only do you need to make sure that you have your flashlights and your candles and your generators, do you have pieces and parts to, you know, well, like with my generator, not my solar generator, but my gas generator or whatever. It has batteries, it has fuel filters, it has all that kind of stuff, you know. So let's see what they have: a super harp laser gun from earthquake and hurricane EMP South Pole. Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And remember, folks, and Mike made a good comment.
Yes, cash only. Make mattress money great again. I went to the bank today and took out some money, some more money. So absolutely, because the power goes down, you're not going to be able to use your debit card or your credit cards or whatever. You may not. I mean, power goes down, you're not going to be able to get cash out.
Nope.
ATM machines are going to be down. Banks are probably going to be locked up.
Yep, closed.
So,
all the banks in Europe with the Spain that were hit by this power, all the banks closed. Period. Couldn't even get to them.
well, and Sky says wife's coworker outside Barcelona said some power is back on. Greece and Italy say small power outages, but they due to overheating. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking at now. You're right, Orion. Fallen Skies. Yeah, some power has been restored, but still they've got outages.
Yep.
But this is a lesson to learn from, folks. Don't take it for granted just because it hasn't affected us.
Mm-hmm. And I hope that it doesn't.
I do too.
You know, so, but the whole point of my channel and your channel and Hudson Valley Prepping's channel and other people's channels, you know, the whole preparedness and prepping is to have the stuff that you need. You know how to use it. My freeze dryer is not going to do me any good in a grid down situation. I'm not even going to be worried about trying to power that thing up.
Right.
So, yes, I need to get using it now to stock some stuff up. But
see, if you'd have gave it to me from the get-go, dude, we'd have had a year's worth of food.
There you go. I'll get to it.
But no.
Yep. But you know, as far as cooking, you know, have you tried cooking on? My bag's over there, and I'm not going to get up and get it. But on the little isobutane stoves or little propane, the 1 gallon or the 1 pound propane stoves and stuff like that. How, you know, you go and camp for a weekend, but what happens if your grid's down for 2, 3, 4 weeks?
Yep,
exactly. You know, do you have ways of cooking? One of the things on there is even though I do have a fireplace, so and I have 2 cords of wood stocked up under tarps and everything. I can easily build a outdoor kitchen if I need to cook outdoors.
Huh.
So.
Huh. You got a woodshed?
Yes. Well, kinda. Yeah. So I got some racks that I put all my wood on, and then I tarp it up, and so
good for you.
We'll get it. We'll get it.
I know.
Yeah, I got plenty of time now.
It ain't like I got to go into the office every day either.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So Hudson Valley said if before that comment, he said something about if anything happens to Germany's power grid. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, because they were talking about that, and I don't know if it was Hudson Valley was saying it or if it's something I read about how they're the leading edge people there in Germany, you know. So if their shit goes down, then yeah. Yep. But let's see what did he say here then next. 4 nuclear power plants are running on backup generators in Spain. I don't know if they're back online or not. Wow. Yeah, I mean that's another thing. The whole nuclear side. I mean, they have backups to power that stuff, because if grid were to go down and they that would be catastrophic if, you know, a nuclear plant lost power.
Check Robert Ham's comment.
How do we know this wasn't Putin carrying on threats of cutting the power and other infrastructure lines that are under the waters around Europe? Yeah. And somebody said something in our Ohio chat about they were cutting wires underwater again.
Could
So,
be. We'll never know until after the fact.
yep, you don't know. You don't know who was behind it, if anybody was behind it. But Cherokee says Russia do not give away to Germany; they pay money. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Bonnie. Don't panic. I'm not
Well,
panicking.
if you're doing the things that you should be doing now, then there's no reason to panic.
Right.
Um, I just know, like, I went to the grocery store today, and they had a lot of stuff that was 7 for $7, basically $1 a piece. So I picked up a couple extra things.
Yep.
So I'll put them away, and so
Yep. I did that last week.
you know and who knows what these tariffs with these other countries are going to do. We don't know yet. It hasn't hit us yet. So
Oh, it's
um
coming. It's
yeah,
coming in I say it's coming in the next 60 days.
if it goes down for good, we will never know the why or who. We will only know survival.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I agree.
Scorpion Metal says, I have said for years that one power plant would put the U.S. out of power for at least 6 months.
Yep. It only takes 9 strategic substations to bring down the entire grid in the country.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, folks, just get the things that you need, and know how to use them, and how to fix stuff, and if you don't know how to, get with people that can help you out, and whatnot. Because luckily for everybody, it's starting to get nice out, so we don't have to worry about the heat. Getting heat and stuff. But we're gonna be in the hot weather soon.
Yep.
How are Do you have a way of powering a fan? Do you have whatever? I won't worry about air conditioning. I'm not going to waste my electricity on air conditioning.
No,
I'll just
me
stay in the
neither.
basement.
Exactly. I will
So,
stay down underground. And here's a tip, folks. If you're in the market for a solar generator, Opus has a new Exodus 2400 that comes out May the 8th. If you go to Opus's website and subscribe, you're going to get coupons to save at least $100 on whatever the price is. I don't even know what the price is going to be,
mm-hmm.
but allegedly, you'll get to see one at Bug Out Weekend,
There you go.
if not sooner.
And before Vision mentions it, you can save 5% if you use DDP. I am an affiliate of Opus, and you can use my code, and you can get
There you go.
5% off.
There you go. That works for me. So what you need to do is start dropping in your description of your videos.
Yeah.
Put a link in there to your affiliate. Put one of your affiliate links in there and your coupon code. Write that down. See, I don't care who you buy it from, whether it's me, Devil Dog, Hudson Valley, whoever else. Just I want you to have one. I could care less about making a couple dollars. I want you to get one. But it's the new Exodus 2400. It's the output is 2400. It's 2232 watt hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And it charges it'll charge by AC or a combination of AC and solar from 0 to 100% in an hour and a half.
Nice. Welcome in, TDDR.
Good to see you, TDDR. Vet Prep. Good to see you, bro.
Tactical Muffin Top is in the house.
Yes,
if I didn't say
indeed.
hello, Blue Butterfly, hello. I'm sorry, chat. This is the first time that I have neglected you guys on a live. This is some big stuff to talk about. And who is Opus? Opus is a solar generator company. They're the new and up and coming. Well, not new, but they're one of the big leaders in solar generators and panels and stuff. So, but
And for the price, nobody can beat their prices as of
absolutely,
right now.
she
Can't
is
beat them.
sunshine. Welcome in.
She is sunshine. Good to see you. Yep.
Old Mutt, welcome in. Good to see you. He says the
My-
Opus 2400 is the perfect solar generator size for most people.
Exactly. Hashtag Old Mutt's kids.
Opus is a solar generator panel company. They have made solar generators more affordable. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And they do have a website or a YouTube channel as well. They
Yep.
do giveaways. Coffee First. I
Yep.
actually won a 600 Exodus 600 from them. So
And I don't know. Well, you can't. Well, let me see. See that mop bag right there?
yeah.
In the bottom of that, I have a Exodus 600 solar generator.
Mm-hmm.
That thing only weighs like 8 pounds. Yep.
Of course you did. Coffee
Of
says,
course you did.
and no dog pepper. I know. I told you. Hey, go ahead and drop my line there, Coffee.
Yep. But
Yeah.
folks, keep an eye on what's going on over in Europe, because it can happen here,
Mm-hmm.
either man-made or natural. You know, and again, you know, we are not fear-mongering. We're sharing what happened.
Yeah.
And when you have, what is it, 3 countries? Yeah, 3 countries, all the power went out everywhere across the country. Millions of people without power. Yeah.
Absolutely. There we go. She said, well, it's my line, but smash that like button, folks. It's free, and who doesn't like free stuff?
Tell him, Coffee.
Too funny.
Yeah. And allegedly, if you're attending Bug Out Weekend 2025, there's actually going to be a class on solar generators and solar panels.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? 15? No, 16 days?
I don't know. All I know
Something
is
like
I
that.
still have time to pack all this crap up and get it ready to bring.
Yeah.
Yes. We are literally 16. 1, 2. Yeah, we're just short of 3 weeks. We may be at 3 weeks.
Well, you got 15 days in May, and then what is there 30 days in April? 31?
I guess.
I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Look. There's 30, so there's 17 days.
17 days. Hudson Valley, dug out my tent today. FOB.
There you go. Which reminds me, I need to get mine out and seal up the seams and everything, because you don't know. It may rain, it may not rain.
Yep, I got to go into the barn and drag mine out also.
It probably is if Hoogie Homestead is there in a tent, because she says every time that she camps or tent camps, it rains. So
Rob B said, anyone have waterproofing suggestions for my tent
for his tarp.
or tarp?
Yeah, I mean they sell the waterproofing spray.
Yeah.
Hudson Valley Prepping says camp dry.
There it is, Camp Dry. Yeah, Rule, I know you're packed. You've been packed. You've been packed from the day you signed up, because you're so excited and I can't wait to meet you, bruh. But Rule drops a video every other day talking about Bug Out Weekend, which is awesome.
Absolutely.
Yes. But folks, please Get some type of backup power. I don't care if you have one solar generator or gas generator, and it'll power a light and something else. Doesn't matter. Fridge.
Mm-hmm.
Get something. Don't be caught in the dark. Although I was born in the dark.
Ohio Valley Prepping said he's not packed yet.
Yeah, me neither, bro. Don't feel bad.
I used to spray Scotch Guard on my jeans and then go snowboarding. There you go. Good advice, Ghost Lincoln. Never get caught with your pants down.
That's true.
That's right. Well, yeah, just get the stuff. I mean, I don't know how many YouTube channels need to tell you to be prepared. So
Yeah. But keep an eye on it. Don't panic. Don't get upset. But keep an eye what's going on over there, because who knows? It could happen here.
Yep. I did find a cool cachet box I've been stuffing with gear. There you go.
Ooh.
Awesome. I watched a video one time. The guy just made them out of PVC pipes, 8-inch,
Yeah.
10-inch PVC pipes, and capped them and everything. So,
yep.
The government is controlling the weather. America's better wake up. Redacted news. Redacted just now. All in chat. Watch this after. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Well,
You never know, and they'll never tell us what they're doing. So
no, and they'll never tell us what caused it. They'll come up with a story, of course, but they're not going to tell us what caused the power outage.
Igloo coolers make good cachet boxes. There you go.
Yes, they do. Yeah, they do. Yeah. I think it was Blue Butterfly talking about she is trying to figure out what food to bring to Bug Out Weekend. Food that you eat.
Yeah.
They make coolers.
Yep.
And they have stores in distance of the Bug Out Weekend, and I'm sure folks will be doing an ice run.
Absolutely. Hudson Valley says I have 3 PVC cachet tubes, few plastic tubes, few barrels, few boxes, few ammo cans. There you go.
Yep. Same here.
I'd love to get some 12-inch diameter greater PVC and caps for caches, but it's prohibitively expensive. Yeah.
Yep.
I agree.
Yep. All the above. Ammo cans. I got some barrels. I've got. Yeah.
I'm wondering if there's a guy not too far from me. He sells on Facebook Marketplace. He sells these blue barrels.
Yeah.
And they got the lid screw on. So there's a rubber seal in it. That'd probably be pretty good.
How much does he sell them for?
I'll have to look, and I'll text you them.
Yeah, let me know.
But he has all different all different sizes. He's got ones that has the locking. It's got a metal ring around it, and then it locks. Yep. Welcome in, Metal Spawn.
Yeah, let me know, because I'll buy some of those.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do that to get some of the stuff like the cachets and stuff like that. Started getting those built, So that's on my list of things to do.
Yeah, welcome to the club. Yes.
Have a good one, Katrinka.
Good night, Katrinka. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, whatever you got to do, whatever you got to do to get ready, and which is one good thing about the Bug Out Weekend is it gives you an opportunity to live like a grid down situation. There's no switches to turn on there. You're living by the light that you have with you, whether it's a flashlight or a campfire or whatever.
Yep.
So, and then cooking, however
Yep.
you're going to cook. So,
And the food you have.
yes, absolutely. Preparedness is a dish best eating one bite at a time.
Absolutely.
Yep. No truer words.
Yep. And
But
yeah, it's that's in the gear. You know, bring your gear. If you have gear you've never tested or used, bring it, use it.
mhm. It's better to try when you don't need to depend on it and figure out one that you don't know how to use it, or two, it doesn't work, and
Mhm.
you can go from there. You know.
Yeah.
What you say here? I'm starting to get the
Cicadas.
cicadas trying to hold out. Yeah. Just remember to apply some pepper. There you go. Absolutely. That's another thing, you know. Do you stock up on spices and stuff to help when you're eating beans and rice for 20
Yes.
days in a row? Do you have a way of doctoring it up? You know.
Yep. I've got a 5-gallon bucket full of spices.
There you go.
Yeah.
Or learn how to grow some herbs and
Yep.
spices, and you
Yep.
know.
That's I was just getting ready to talk about the yes. Yes. Grow some.
That's what a
Definitely.
ghost called the shakes after 9 with my laptop. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I will not have a bland apocalypse. Nope.
Absolutely not.
Not going to happen.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Not gonna happen.
I have a mess of gravy and flavor packets. Yep, there you go.
Yeah. Right, Tuck.
Well, and that's one thing too. You know, like I print off recipes all the time. I can't remember
Mhm.
how to make every meal that I've made by memory, so I print off a lot of recipes, and if we like them, we keep them. If not, we throw them away. You know, so
Yep. Exactly.
food fatigue is real. Morale is crucial. Yep.
Yep.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's the topic for tonight. There's 17 days until bug out weekend, so if you're going, get your stuff ready, and I will be getting my stuff ready soon. Like I said, I got to get my tent out and make sure that it's sealed up in case it does rain. So
What size t-shirt do you wear?
2X.
Okay.
Well, 3T, 3T. Oh, actually, yeah, it is 3T. But I'm losing weight, so right now I'm still wearing 3T. So I should have said that.
Gotcha.
Orion says, plant fruit trees. I'm adding a small citrus grove to the garden that I manage. There you go.
Yep.
I
Exactly.
so I had my garden 2 years ago at my daughter's house, and because I planned on having it there multiple years, we bought some blueberry bushes, some raspberry bushes, and stuff like that, and they got tore up with the garden. So I bought some new ones, and I'm planting them here at the house. So
Yep. I'm getting some more fruit trees.
my herbs are going like gangbusters right now, thankfully. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Great and Grace.
Awesome, Grit and Grace.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do probably next week is get my herbs going. Uh, I overwintered some of them and put them outside, and my chives they're going crazy. So
Nice. Good.
coffee first, so there's a sound not normal for us.
Yeah,
Wow.
Mike, I saw that your video putting a greenhouse together. That's pretty cool.
There you go.
Yeah.
Ohio Valley Prepping says, I plan on getting mostly ready this weekend. Right on.
I am too, because I'm that guy that, the last minute, the night before, I'll be scrambling.
And then you're not going to get much sleep, and then you're going to be tired. And
Right. Yeah. Then when I get there, that's not gonna happen. So
yep.
I'm actually having everything packed by that Monday,
There you go.
staged on Tuesday, load up the truck on Wednesday, and then head out Thursday morning.
Nice.
Yeah.
I wish I had the space to make a greenhouse.
Yeah.
Nepal is a group of edible cactus varieties which are very easy to grow. They can be eaten, used as fodder for livestock and wild game biomass. I finally ate some this week. There you go.
All right, Tuck. Same here, Ohio Valley. I did too. I took that Wednesday off to pack the truck.
Hudson Valley Prep reminding Livingston man you can't grow spam technically.
No, that comes from the truck that I'm sending to him that gets filled up.
We're gonna need a bigger fence.
Yep.
Well, yeah, folks, I don't got nothing else to talk about here. I don't think. Let me check here. I don't know. Nope, that was it. So I kept you guys for an hour and 17 minutes. So, Vision, you got anything extra to say or want to talk about?
Keep on prepping, folks. Doesn't matter what it is, grid down, hurricane, fire, natural disaster, man-made disaster. Just keep prepping and don't panic. Y'all got this.
Well, this should have been an eye opener for a lot of people. I know we hear about these tariffs. We don't know when it's going to hit, and it will hit eventually. So get it while you can, why it's affordable, and because when they do go in, the tariffs do take place and the prices go up, it's going to be harder to get financially. So Joe Sigden says, don't put your mouth on it. Keep prepping. There you go. But yeah, folks, I appreciate you guys stopping in and for this hour and 20 minutes here. So don't forget tomorrow over at the Vision Preparedness channel for his live and the Four Horsemen. And then Thursday as well for him. So, but folks, with that being said, stay safe, stay vigilant, stay prepped. We'll see you next Monday.
Take care, everybody.